Hi legends, today I'm super excited to bring you the best Barbarian build for the max DPS and dungeons because this actually took a long time. Yesterday on the stream we were checking out every single possible build and we actually found out the one that it was outputting the biggest damage in the single target, and then I also made a variation for the dungeons that, oh my god, it is so fun to play with it. So here it was the moment that we actually went from 228 million from like a primary attack build, the one that we found out it was the most optimal, until we actually tried this one, the Whirlwind with the Leap and Demoralize that I'm gonna show, and we actually managed to reach the 269. Yes, it is not 500 million like Crusaders and Wizards. Yeah, Barbarian is quite lowered when it comes to damage, but don't let fool you, because whenever you actually go into the dungeons, we can actually output a lot of DPS. So you're gonna be able to see here this in action. Like, look at this. This is like the Beyblade, man. It is so fun. Not only that, we see here like 10 million damage. We are actually having like a certain world. You're just gonna jump. You're gonna be fast.
Okay,
you're gonna do output a lot of damage, and you're gonna see a few million here. Like whenever these dots actually gonna explode, you are gonna be able to see that you're gonna do a tremendous amount of damage. So you see here 2.5 million damage, 1.1 million damage, 1.3 million damage at the same time. So if this does not convince you, well, I don't know what will. So let's go inside the game, because I actually gonna show you here the build itself. For the skills, we are using the Wrath of Berserk, the Demoralize, the Leap, and the Whirlwind. These gonna be two different builds, one for the dungeon and the other one for the single target. We're gonna start here with the one that for me it is my personal favorite, because it is for the dungeons. For the ancestors, I'm gonna show you guys two different builds. This one, it is the dungeon build. So for the headpiece, we are using the Whirling All. If you still don't know, whenever you use the Demoralize, it's gonna empower you, and every time that you're gonna move, you're gonna emit a blast of wind coming out from your feet. This is gonna be wind damage, which also is gonna proc the firestorm, and above all, it actually is gonna just create like this instant resolve on the dots together with the lion's mane. So if you see here, whenever the Demoralize is gonna hit the target, you're gonna immediately gonna resolve any continual damage effects that you have on the target, and this is how you are able to see that we are outputting millions of damage, even if it is a free-to-play account. Then we have here another one, the new and upgraded version of the 5 fresh claws. This is to be whenever you attack the Whirlwind, you'll increase the damage output by 10% for all your party, but now they actually buff it to 30%, but only and mainly for you. The other one, it is gonna be also a buff gem that we got, Ox Horns. Now the Whirlwind, whenever you attack 3 times the target, is gonna apply a bleed, but before it was just like 1 bleed. Now it actually stacks up to 3 times, similar to the augments. Now here we have something that I also want to give a shout out to my boy Cheesy in the chat. Like, he actually said, what if you use the Leap and you put the metal on mine? So after using the Leap, you're actually also getting here the damage increase. But one important thing also about the Leap, it is because it also is going to apply the damage to loss of control, because whenever you land on the target, it's going to make and apply a slow that is going to be extended with our 2 pieces variants and also our misery. And every time that you also kill an enemy, it can actually reduce the cooldown by itself. It is very useful, and it's gonna create a lot of mobility on this build. The other one, it is gonna be the Fallen Field. Whirlwind now is gonna consume your life instead of energy, and pretty much you're gonna inflict yourself some damage, but you're barb, so you are able to regen. Also, you have healing potions, and above all, you're gonna take some damage to yourself, which whenever you do, this is actually very critical, because if we go here, we are using the Berg Breaker. The Berg Breaker is going to reduce the cooldown on your Wrath of Berserk, and is going to retaliate whenever you are attacked. So it's going to create like a AoE ability. So if I put together the Wrath of Berserk and then I start doing the Whirlwind, because I'm doing damage to myself, I'm able to proc it all the time without having any need to have someone giving damage to me. The other one, it is gonna be the Promised Sunrise. Whenever you are using the Demoralize and it hits the enemy, you're gonna have the attack speed, and above all, the movement speed is gonna be increased up to 28.5%, which is gonna make you stay fast, so you don't need to use the sprint just because we are slotting these in. Very strong build, very optimal for dungeons. So if we go here to the set items, we are using now the 2 pieces Vitus, so we extend the duration of our buffs. Not only buffs like Wrath of Berserk and Demoralize, but also our Rolling Consequence, any buff gem that you have. Then we are using here 2 pieces augments with a 4 pieces augments that is going to increase the duration of our ignite stats, which is the burning effect by 30%, and we have a 15% chance of adding an extra burning effect on the target. Really powerful, increases a lot of our damage. And then we are using the 2 pieces Baron, so increases our harmful effects by 30%. And these, whenever you have all these extensions also together here with our Misery Elixir, which now I got it to rank 10, really nice, also increases 24%. So you see how this resolve starts stacking, because you know you're gonna have first the 30% from 2 pieces augments, then you have like the 30% out of like the Barons, and then you have the Misery Elixir that comes on top of it. So all of these things, they are not additive, they are actually multiply on each other. I think Auret also made like a good video explaining about this, so you guys can also check it out. But just in sum up, it is not like 30% plus 30% plus 24%. No, it is multiplies 30% and then multiplies another 30% and then multiplies 24%. And whenever you're gonna have like this dot that instead of being like 6 seconds is gonna be now, for example, 12 seconds or 13 seconds, and then you're gonna resolve it immediately, it means that you don't need to wait for the dots to actually, you know, proc every second for 12 seconds. No, it instantly explodes and you do millions of damage. That's the core mechanic on this build. So Misery Elixir makes a lot of sense. And on top of that, Misery Elixir and all these 2 pieces variants are a very good pair with the Spectral Glass. This is whenever you crit, it's gonna shatter the armor of the enemy, and it's gonna apply a debuff on the target, which is an increased damage debuffed also with a critical hit chance for 2 seconds. But it's not really 2 seconds, because we are having the 30% of balance and the Misery Elixir on top, which makes it around like 4 seconds, something like that. It is very strong. Then we have here the Bloodsoaked Jade, increase your movement speed. Fervent's Fang, also very powerful. For dungeons, you can also go, for example, and change with something like the Morn Skull. Morn Skull probably it is gonna be even better than the Fervent's Fang for this case, but I still like to use the Fervent's Fang. It procs like really fast, and he has like very easily that damage. Then we have here the Rolling Consequence, increase our crit, gonna apply burning effects, gonna explode, and on top of that, it's gonna increase your critical hit chance by 3% against burning enemies. Best gem in the game. Colossus is gonna increase our skill damage up to 27%. This build, it is mainly about like skill damage and all these dots, so very good. On top of that, it's gonna increase your sights, it's gonna increase your movement speed and your skill range. It comes very clutch. It's one of my favorite gems as well. Pain Clasp, every time you have armful continuous effects, you're gonna actually start doing 13% more damage. Have in mind also these ranks, they keep scaling up as long as you keep growing the rank. So mines are rank 5. If you have rank 6 until rank 10, it can get like very crazy. Mother's Lament is gonna give us the critical hit chance, very good, and also apply a bleed. And of course, we already spoke here about the Spectral Glass. So these are my gem setup. If you don't have any of these gems, don't worry, you can actually make here some good changes. So for free to play, obviously Berserker Eye, still the GOAT, still the way to go. You can even use as well the Everlasting Tournament. You're gonna apply the dot, it's gonna explode the dot. Morn Skull, very good. Then you have here the Crimson Hill, it also really good. You have the Bottle Hope, if you have this one, also extremely good. You also have one that I still didn't build it up, but what is it? The Entropic Well. This one, it is also very strong for this build. Increase the skill damage, it's also gonna increase the skill attack speed. You can't really go wrong with any of these options. So if you don't have any of the gems here on my setup, you can replace with those. For the substats, well, pretty much just try to focus always on your damage output. So you want to have critical hit chance and critical hit damage. Have in mind that the critical hit chance has a 100% cap, and also the critical hit damage also has 100% cap. So mine, I have here 41% together here with a 54% from critical hit damage. We are around like 95%, so very close to the cap. Then attack speed, so you can spin faster. Cooldown reduction, so you keep getting your Demoralize and your Wrath of Berserk 100% of time. And obviously, I always enjoy to go with the 20% movement speed because I want to do these dungeons as fast as I can, and it really helps me. I get 10% here from the Bloodsoaked Jade. I also get like a 6% here from these blue runes, and I'm getting around here some movement speed here from my necklace, and this gives me a total of the 20% movement speed cap, which is really good. Then we go here into the Paragon. Well, when it comes to the Paragon, there is literally this, since you're using the leap with a lot of dashes, you basically just want to proc here the blur. So you're gonna jump and you're gonna have this blur whenever you get out of the invisibility. You're gonna have this ambush, which is gonna increase your damage by 30%, and then you're gonna also have your critical hit chance increase by 20%. And this is very important. This cannot be really used in a single target. This is mainly for dungeons because you need the fate to actually refresh the cooldown of the blur every time you kill a mob. So it means like you pretty much have these most of the times inside the dungeon. Also using the quick step, so we have the cooldowns 10% faster on our leap, so we keep jumping, we keep having this damage boost that comes with the skill. And the legendary skill, since we are having so many dots that we're using burning, we're using these bleeds, whenever they expire, they are gonna deal a 30% of their total damage, AoE damage in all these mobs. So it is very, very powerful. You cannot really go wrong with it. Then when it comes here to the familiars, well, on the familiars you can go with you know, something, a familiar that has the lingering wounds, or you can go with one that has the savior pet, because you know you don't want to die. Either way, you can use both of them. Or if you are like a whale and you're like, or really lucky, and you have a pet that has the savior and also it has the lingering wounds, well, you have one of the best PvE pets on the game, so congratulations on that. And then one important part here also for our damage output is that we also are using, even though I don't have here, I think I have to change here the chest piece. Well, we are using for the cursed the 6 pieces detested, that is gonna create a dark void beneath you and the boss or whatever you're trying to attack, and it's gonna increase the damage by 12%. Very strong. We tried the 6 pieces lashed, so you get like these flames for every 6 seconds, but for my testing I was actually doing less 10% damage whenever it came out of that. The other one is 2 pieces. A trophy is also gonna create an area below the mobs. It's going to increase your damage. So overall, in my opinion, these were like the best properties that you can have for this build, and especially for the Max DPS one. For the reforges, well, we are using here this one. These are the reforges that are pretty much meta right now. Damage to enemies of loss of control, damage to demons, increase attack speed, beneficial effect duration, and critical hit damage. Even though we are not using primary attacks to proc these, it's still godly when it comes to the substats. You cannot really go wrong with these. You're still gonna use it regardless. So in the future, if you have a Tempest or something that you're going to use primary attacks, you can still get that extra benefit. Now let's talk about some changes here, especially on the main hand, because you know, maybe you're not at the place that I am, and maybe you don't want to be using the Bardic Breaker because you are losing HP and you just want to have maximum like safety. So I will suggest you to go with the Roar of Persuasion, because it's going to increase your critical hit damage. That for me, that doesn't do anything at this moment, but it's going to give you this life drain. So pretty much you're never gonna die because you're gonna keep healing yourself. So you're gonna mitigate the damage that you take from the fallen field with the Whirlwind Instances, and it's gonna make you immortal pretty much. You're just gonna trade a bit of damage for a bit of survivability. And the other one, it is if you want to go for the maximum damage, you're gonna remove the Bardic Breaker and you're gonna put the Falling Thunder. And this is what I want to show you, because there is two different sides of this build. One, it is the dungeon build that I just showed you, and the other one, we are using the Falling Thunder. And we make here some changes also on the Paragon. Mainly we are using the Bloodthirst, Superiority, Fury, Deadly Intent, Careful Aim, and also the Death's Release. The Paragon has to be different. Also, we are not using the Unseen Dynamism because we are not using primary attacks, so we just take all the ones that is gonna increase our damage to the most. I tried the Slayer, it was not worth it because of the dots. It was just like 10%. It was not adding a lot. These actually increase my damage by a lot more. But there is a downside to this build that I will show you, is that if you put here the Falling Thunder, you're gonna realize that yes, you're gonna output a tremendous amount of damage whenever it comes with the Wrath of Berserk, but you actually gonna have the Wrath of Berserk with a very long cooldown. So let me go here and reset, and I'm gonna explain you guys what is the rotation whenever you are trying to engage on the boss. So you want to buff up, you want to leap, and then you want to start using your Whirlwind. So we're gonna buff up, we're gonna leap on top of the target, and then pretty much you just want to rotate around the boss, or you just want to go with this. Whenever the Demoralize is gonna run out, you're gonna do it again. So you put your Demoralize, you apply the leap, and you go into Whirlwind again. So if you see right now, I don't have the rat, we have it again, and now we're gonna see that our damage is gonna start exploding again, because we are gaining a lot of attack speed. So yeah, this is the only difference that exists. You can go with either one. I feel like this one here, it is the one that outputs the most damage. The other one for the dungeons, it is the one that it is perfect for the dungeons, and is the one that actually is gonna bring way more value and comfort for you to actually play, because you're gonna have the rat like 100% uptime. You're gonna do maybe like 10% less damage, but it's just gonna be more comfortable, and you're still gonna see here some good spikes of damage, you know. And overall, this is it. This is the build. I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys gonna have some fun when it comes to these dungeons, because you're gonna do a tremendous amount of damage, especially when you're gonna have all these mobs and things around you. And on a single target, just go with the maximum DPS, swap out the Bardic Breaker with the Falling Thunder, and you're gonna see your damage increasing by like 15%, which is gonna be very good. So with this, I hope you guys enjoyed. Go have some fun with your Barb, and I'll see you guys on the live stream. Like, subscribe, type cheese in the comments, and peace.